was poking fun at an influencer agent that, I'd only been in the business for a couple of years and was doing this, selling the program and all that stuff. And
after a couple of years.
Yeah. And, I just threw it out there, with this music walking through, and I forget exactly what it was, but,
success isn't a straight line.
Yeah, it was something, but it ended up getting 2 million views.
Because you did. You're like, I got to set up the camera and then I got to run back and all of a sudden walk slow along the camera.
I mean, it took 20 seconds to make, and it was basically just throwing it out there for my friends to laugh at. And they got 2 million. I picked up clients from that video.
This is the Mostly Middle Tennessee Business Podcast, a podcast about Middle Tennessee business owners and professionals. Mostly.
You're going to love it when things are uncertain. Much like in your business right now. And a lot of businesses.
War makes people a little uncertain, my friend.
But I mean, it's like, before we started talking about this, I would imagine that a lot of people that are moving to the state, does that kind of put us in a bubble in the real estate?
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
We've got so many people moving here from other states that, you got so many people just flooding out of other states and flooding into Tennessee.
I mean, does that help? I mean, that puts us at a bit of an advantage for those real estate agents that are here.
Oh yeah, I could imagine agents in, some of the other states, Illinois, New York. I mean, it's got to be terrifying for them right now.
Yeah, a lot of selling properties. Not many people buying, a lot of people selling.
Yep.
Well, there you go. We got Mr. Nick Woodard on here, one of our clients. He's the host of the 615 podcast, as you can tell by our hats.
Yeah, rocking the hat, my friend.
I do. I rock this hat a lot.
I appreciate it.
I do. It fits right. And for me, that's a rarity because I have a giant head.
Yeah, man. I'm very particular about my hat styles.
I know you are.
Very.
You call it your branded look.
My branded look.
I mean,
I've been wearing Ariat boots for 20 years. I will not venture away.
Are those the 20-year-old boots that you're wearing now?
No, I mean, I get a new pair every 2 or 3 years.
That's
but
good. That's
Ariat
good money.
Ramblers. That's it.
That's good money. Yeah. Well, you guys are listening to the Mostly Middle Tennessee Business Podcast. I am Jim McCarthy, your host. And if you're into real estate and finding about all the things that have been going on, want to get an update, this is the guy to get it from, because I was thinking earlier, he puts the real in real estate. Realtor.
No. Dad,
well, you are.
Dad jokes.
You are. It's not even a dad joke. You're a real guy because that's how you portray yourself online. The things that you like, you portray all the different the elements of your life that you like. The hunting. I don't know if you're a fisherman.
A little bit.
Yeah. Are you a lake guy? Or
I'm an obsessive fisherman.
Are you?
Lakes, rivers. I love small rivers mainly. Skinny water, we call it.
You do ocean, deep sea?
Not much. Sometimes when we go down there, I'll get a charter or something. But I tend to get seasick, man. Ever since I was a kid, and it's something about not. You feel claustrophobic out there, even though you're in the middle of nowhere. It makes no sense to me.
Right.
So the horizon imbalance kind of throws me off. But when we see land, even if it's, way out there, I'll come right back and I'm fine.
Well, did they go that far? I guess for deep sea, you kind of have to go where you can't see land.
Yeah, it depends on what's running and what's biting.
Yeah. Well, the last time I did it was on my dad's boat, and I was a kid. And maybe I've never really had a problem with being seasick, though, even going on boats now. So, yeah. I mean, but then again, I haven't been on an ocean-going vessel in probably decades.
Yeah. Some people can handle it, some can't. For some reason, I can't handle it.
I've always been fine with it. But it's, I wish I appreciated it more when I was a kid.
Right.
I would really like to do it again. My daughter mentioned, she's like, I really like to go. I said, I'll make it happen one of these days.
Yeah, I got some guys down in the Florida coast that take you out.
On the Redneck Riviera down there?
No.
Where do you go out of?
I've gone out of there, but again, I've only done this a handful of times. But there's a place right out of Destin when I was down there.
Redneck Riviera. Isn't that what that's
I thought
called?
Redneck Riviera was Panama City.
Is that what that is? I thought it was the whole
That's what
thing.
we used to call it.
Is Panama City all that bad? I mean, it's...
No, it's not. I was actually down there few weeks ago. We were in Destin, then went over to Panama City and
Right.
kind of looked at some old stomping ground we used to go to spring break when I was in high school and college.
We have some trade bank dollars saved up that it's all based on immediate availability. So like the week before you'd want to go, you'd have to see if there's availability kind of thing. Not the most convenient way to go about it, but there's a lot of properties in Panama City that my wife is kind of like, she's kind of iffy about it.
Yeah.
Because it's Panama City.
No, it's turning. Everything down there is turning. You know, it's not trashy like it was when I was in college and we go down there and have 7-8 people in one hotel room and
good old days.
Yeah, the good old days, man.
I never did any
the
of that.
Sandpiper Beacon. That's the place, man.
Sandpiper Beacon.
I drove past it the other day. It just gave me the.
If I never have to step foot inside there again, I'll be happy. This is a show that mostly Middle Tennessee business podcast comes from the Christian Brothers Automotive of Spring Hill studio and is powered by Muletown Bikes down there in Columbia on the square. I told you I got an e-bike, right?
No,
I did.
Nice.
Got almost 400 miles on it already.
Okay.
Yeah, been pedaling. But
pedaling or
I've been pedaling, man.
What's the point in getting an e-bike?
Because it gives you assist.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of hills around here, and I'm 50.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
it's like you work out every day, right?
I do.
Do you enjoy it?
Not really.
Right. You're getting to that age.
Sometimes it's like,
you want to enjoy your workouts.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I am.
I want to not die. That's the reason I work out.
Now, I enjoy it because I'll go out for about an hour. I do about 18 miles. And
Okay.
you got your heart rate up. You're burning calories. You're sweating. I maybe have touched the throttle twice.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I want to get one of those for deer hunting.
Yeah.
You know, because you can go up the hills and
It's quiet.
You're quiet. You know, when I take the Ranger in the morning, it's just,
That's
everything within 3 miles can hear me coming.
Yeah. Well, go see Vinny down at Muletown Bikes. He'll hook you up. He's a good dude.
Roger that.
Yeah, down in there on the square in Columbia. And, of course, my friend Jason over at Christian Brothers Automotive, Spring Hill. They do a fantastic job over there. So what is it with the real estate market lately? We kind of touched upon it at the beginning just slightly. You're seeing a vacillation of the market. Is that correct? Kind of hot and cold?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, man. It's things started taking over Christmas and the holidays. Things were pretty slow comparatively to past years. And then we kind of had, a spark that looked like things were going to start moving again. And then, we go to war and the uncertainty, people kind of fall back a little bit. Now properties are moving. Yeah. They got to be priced properly and present themselves beautifully. You don't want to throw something on the market that needs a lot of work and has issues with it. People will just go right past it unless the price justifies it. But I think people are just kind of sitting right now, waiting to kind of see how this all pans out. I think it's going to explode when we get into the summer.
Yeah.
Because there is so much pent up demand. We're going to have the new Fed chair come in. Will that affect things? Hopefully the Iran debacle will be wrapped up and
We're on a 2-week ceasefire right now, right?
I mean,
I saw that
say
yesterday.
that, but
Yeah.
do you trust them?
No. That's why we're doing what we're doing. Should we did this kind of 47 years ago, and we kind of let it just sit.
Yep.
So, did we actually declare war though, or is it just everyone's perceiving it to be?
Don't
war?
believe so. I think it's perceiving to be.
I wonder if he actually formally declared war. Would that make a difference?
Out of my wheelhouse, man.
Me too.
I don't know.
Whatever you want to film, wherever you want to film it, we can film your show from just about anywhere. Want to film a special episode of your podcast in a new location? We can do that for you. How about creating your short form video content at home or in your office? We can do that for you. Whatever you want to film, wherever you want to film it, it's your show. We just produce it for you.
Well, I mean, we have a big property, as you know, for sale for anybody watching. 10-acre piece of property. We're getting it wrapped up, pretty much just about finished. And it's funny, I learned an aspect of real estate that you know, for me, from an outsider, I'm like, well, hey, find us a buyer. And you're like, yeah, that's like giving a realtor the middle finger. And I'm going, really?
Yeah.
And I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is that, you know?
Like we don't want you to list it, but if you bring us a buyer, we'll gladly.
It's not that we didn't want you to list it.
You had someone that helped you long before I came along into your life. So no, there's never hard feelings. Everybody knows a realtor.
Oh my gosh. Around here, I bet every commoner, every layman probably knows, like within relative close circles, probably 5 or 6 realtors.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
That's
they're
why everywhere.
You have to differentiate yourself.
Yeah. What's the most annoying thing that you see a realtor doing? Like, does anybody come to mind? And name names, feel free.
No. The influencer agent out there that doesn't actually sell properties.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm all over social media and YouTube and all that. You do my podcast.
Yeah.
We put that out there. So there is a little bit of, you know, having to be in that world. But now you're seeing these agents that come out and they're trying to sell you, what do they call it? A plan. You know, this is how I do things. Pay me $400 a month and I'll, you know, give you the strategies I use to sell more
selling to other
properties.
realtors?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
Coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real estate coaching. And it's okay. Can you trust someone to coach when they've been selling real estate for 3 years?
Don't you want to call them out?
No.
Not even innocuous?
I may have to do a deal with them, man. I don't want to piss them off on the front end. That's the one thing about real estate is you have to treat other agents well because it is a small town.
Yeah.
And you are going to see them again.
Yeah.
So there's been many times where someone did me dirty and then 3 years later they bring a buyer to my listing and it's like, all right, let's play.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And how does that typically go down? How does a real estate do one dirty?
Well, there's a lot of ethics involved.
Yeah.
You know,
or lack of,
you know, not disclosing something. But one happened to me the other day. I set up a showing for great clients of mine. They've been clients for years and ready to upgrade their house. Set up a showing and went and saw it and got there. The key wasn't in the lockbox, so called the guy and he tells me where it is. Clients love it. Go back home, run comps, get everything together, call the guy to make an offer. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. This is already under contract. It's closing tomorrow. I'm like, you didn't want to tell me when I set the showing. You didn't want to tell me when I called you when I was there. You didn't put it in the MLS. You got my folks all excited about this house and didn't let us know it was actually already under contract. That's kind of a jackass move right there.
That's the thing is that, you know, the people that make the rest of you look bad, you know?
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine works in the car business was telling me a story the other day that one of his comrades on the floor basically had a customer that was in a bind and needed a car and stuff like that, and then had a better opportunity come up and just pretty much dropped her right then and there. High-end dealership too. And it's like, dude, you can't do things like that. You got to stick with them.
I mean, I think unfortunately, I don't want to say the world as a whole, but a lot of businessmen and women are kind of going that route now. It's becoming a little bit more cutthroat. And
I mean, around here, though, you got to think that there should be enough to go around. Is it people getting greedy?
I don't know if it's people getting greedy or if it's just a culture change.
Yeah.
No, if it's maybe my generation may see things a little bit differently than someone younger than me. It's also the world's a little bit tougher to navigate now.
Yeah.
So people are becoming a little bit more cutthroat, but I refuse to let it grab me. You know, in this business to succeed and survive for 22 years now, like I have, you have to carry yourself differently and do things on the up and up. Because like I said, it will come back around at some point.
That sounds pretty egregious what that person did.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if he was doing it on purpose, if he was just, you know, lazy about it or
Just forgot.
You know, whatever. He's
Was
like,
he new?
yeah. I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to call him out. It's just, it put me in a bind and, you know, broke their hearts and yada, yada. But we found them something else and is what it is. But in the moment, it pisses you off.
Oh, of course.
Jim.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the hard things that we, like when I was in the car business, was that, you know, eventually learning, you know, you wanted to set as many expectations as you could with a client, but learning the expectations in the beginning was the tough part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are common expectations you should be saying? And one of them was that, look, just because you looked at it and you got to think about this car doesn't mean somebody else has already thought about it and is coming in to buy it.
Yeah.
That does happen. You know?
Now, the hard thing is I'm looking for a new truck, but it's very specific. And there's a lot of people that are wanting what I'm wanting. So it is kind of one of those situations where when you find something that checks the boxes, you do have to jump on it or it'll be gone.
What's specific about a truck? Like, what do you want?
I'm wanting a 2018 to 2021 Toyota Tundra.
Really?
Crew Max. Prefer limited or premium because it comes with, you know, leather and all that. And I destroy trucks.
Yeah.
But those are considered some of the best trucks around. So when they go to 2022 and newer, they've had a lot of issues. But those 18 to 21 Tundras, everybody wants. And if you can find some with lower mileage, they're gone instantly.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea.
And they're probably going for more now than they were brand new.
Wow.
We're talking, if you can find something with less than 75,000 miles on it, you're talking between 40 and 50,000.
Are you driving a GMC now?
Yeah, Sierra.
And you wouldn't do it again?
No.
Really?
No. I've had issues with it.
GMC is supposed to be like the luxury version of Chevy.
I mean, it's a great truck, but again, you know, I hunt and fish and I've got a farm and I beat it up. I put 30,000 miles a year on it in real estate. So over time, you beat it up. I've had to put a transmission on it and a couple other things.
Oh, wow.
But again, Toyota, if you take care of it,
it'll
be there a long time.
They're bulletproof.
So
absolutely.
May just suck it up. Next one I come across that fits the bill, snag it, and hopefully it'll last me, 10, 15 years.
Are you at cars.com looking at that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Facebook Marketplace. And, the hard thing is finding one without a rebuilt title.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, finding out what was rebuilt.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is a tough part.
And since these are kind of older models, who knows what they've been through.
Yeah.
But they've maintained value.
So you're out there. I see your stuff. You've had a couple of videos go viral.
Things you wouldn't expect.
Making fun of some, influencers. That's the thing is we're getting to the point now, I think, with the influencer paradigm that's not authentic, where, it's the slow-mo videos. Like I want to put together a video together with my new team here of me taking myself way too seriously, like slow-mo hype reel, getting out of my 2008 banged up Honda Odyssey, and every video of me is doing this hand motion, the steepling. Like even when I'm trying to pick up a glass of water, I'm doing that, that kind of thing. Yeah. And I don't know, just going to see where it goes.
Hey man, throw it out there.
Yeah. Because you poke fun at one of your videos doing that kind of thing.
I was poking fun at an influencer agent that, I'd only been in the business for a couple of years and was doing this, selling the program and all that stuff. And
after a couple of years.
Yeah. And I just threw it out there, with this music walking through, and I forget exactly what it was, but
success isn't a straight line.
Yeah, it was something, but it ended up getting 2 million views.
Because you did. You're like, I got to set up the camera and then I got to run back and all of a sudden walk slow along the camera.
I mean, it took 20 seconds to make, and it was basically just throwing it out there for my friends to laugh at. And they got 2 million. I picked up clients from that video.
Well, because it resonates with people. Because they see that. It's like, there was one guy, and this is what spurred the concept for me to do a video like that, was I saw a guy, with all these highly polished photos of himself with his new G-wagon. And the whole caption down below was like, success is not a straight line. It's more like a mountain. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like gag me with a spoon, man. This is just, shut up. It's like, and everything's just like,
some people eat it up, man.
Oh.
Some people eat it up.
Like, who's buying this crap? And the real estate world is very guilty of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Perception's reality.
But I love the fact
until you actually start doing the deal and they realize that maybe this guy spends too much time on TikTok and not enough time on.
Dude, a lot of realtors are miserable people.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. You're not one of them. I mean, you've been at it for a long time and you have a long history here in town, which helps you because
very much.
You know all the nooks and crannies,
from here, raised here.
Yeah. And that really helps you in what you're doing. But
I mean, of course, I've got my own struggles and get frustrated, and just like everybody else. But to me, it's not really working. I mean, it is, but especially people coming in from out of town, I just take them around everywhere. Hey, this is where I grew up playing football, and this is where I went to school. And Williamson County has 12 of the top 25 schools in the entire state, and here they are, and this is why. And how many people are actually coming into town because of your Instagram? I mean, I don't know how many are coming into town, but I will say
that contact you to look
50% of my clients now come from Instagram or YouTube. Yeah.
Just because of the stuff you're putting out there. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it could just be a picture of the lake, some haze over it, some early morning fog.
I say this is not what I wanted to do. I tried to stay away from the social media content thing. And then we actually had my buddy Mike Cuevas on my podcast not long ago, the real estate marketing dude. And I used to watch his podcast, and he was talking about just being authentically you will pull like-minded people will gravitate towards you.
And that's the key, is authentically you. That's the big difference. You're showing your life. Yeah. Even like, the first day of school when kids have the day off for a snow day, it's always fun. And by the third day, you're ready to pull your hair out.
That was another YouTube clip that went crazy.
But a lot of your clips, I mean, you've got a lot of reviews now. I'm just kind of glancing over it right now. I see who's doing all your your home video tours and stuff like that.
That's actually shooting them.
Yeah.
Buddy of mine named Zach Harrison.
Does a good job.
Yeah, he does a great job. We'll give him a shout out. Any agents in town, contact him.
Is that all he does?
No, he shoots weddings and all kinds of stuff.
All sorts of stuff.
Yeah. But he's, reason I hire him, he's been with me for probably 10, 15 years, but probably one of the most anal retentive people I've ever been around. So I can go in and get my property ready to go for him to shoot, and he'll come in and spend 30 minutes readjusting everything that I just did. So now I just turn him loose.
Now you got another video of you shooting a gun on, I presume to be your land.
Yep.
I got to go down there with you one of these days.
Yeah,
I need vitamin B, big time. Vitamin beach, vitamin B. I call it vitamin B.
Vitamin B.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Vitamin A, ammo.
Vitamin A is ammo, yeah. Vitamin B could be vitamin
some
bang.
Vitamin L, some lead downrange is what you need.
I've never really gotten to shooting. I really need to get more into it. I've done shooting. I've shot before and just never took.
Oh, it's the best therapy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got steel set up everywhere. I've got a gun range. Just go down there, take people and let them have at it. My favorite is when I have out of town clients that, let's say, I've had a couple from California that haven't really been around guns. They're I don't want to say scared by any means, but they're just not comfortable. And so I like taking people down and educating them, showing them, all the safety protocols and just letting them know, this is a violent thing if used the wrong way, but it's a tool if used properly.
Yeah.
And just teaching people and let them, seeing them become more confident.
Yeah.
And more.
Well, you're making a memory for them.
Yeah.
Are they when they're coming out, are they just kind of like putting their toe in the water, or are they committed to move?
No, most people have already committed. I've had 10 or 12 clients that have literally moved here. They came into town for one weekend to look, and they're like, yep, this is it.
Yeah.
I've had at least 5 or 6 people say, we just, I don't know what it was. We felt the calling on our lives that this is where we're supposed to be. And we've never even been to Franklin or Brentwood.
Why don't we do a montage video for you talking about the experience people had with you, especially from California? Is it mostly California? You getting some New Yorkers too?
No, I'm, let's see, California, Seattle, had a couple from Arizona.
West Coast.
To be honest, mainly blue states.
Really?
Yep.
And they're all red people that want to get here.
Red people.
But I mean, here's the thing is that they say that, and you see a lot of Facebook posts that talk about the Californians that are moving, because we're being inundated. Oh. They seem to be everywhere. They still, it's still a difference in the cultures, even though they might vote the same, think the same, but they have like embedded habits that they it takes a little time for them to wear off, I guess, to assimilate to what we do here.
I get it.
Slower pace of life.
I can't speak for the overall, but I will say the people that find me, that go through me, are a lot like me. Yeah. I guess it's because I put all that out there. I don't deeply talk politics with people until they actually want to bring it up. Right. But I think when you kind of see what I put out there, you know what you're going to get. Yeah. It's kind of one of those, leave me alone, I'll leave you alone.
Libertarian.
Jesus said, love everybody. And yeah.
It seems to be working.
Leave me the hell alone.
Have you noticed an uptick in the interest, like people reaching out to you since you started doing it? Significant uptick?
Well, since I started kind of opening up myself. Yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
Really?
Absolutely.
So you could probably, you could legitimately, come up with a course and help people figure out. People get mind blocked. What would I share? I just don't really get it.
Yeah.
Or share it for free.
Well, I'm also kind of one of those people that I can't really explain what I do. Like I tell people all the time, I'll have my hand in 10 to 12 different clients' stuff all day, dealing with this seller, this buyer, this lender, this whatever. And then I'll get to the end of the day and go, I don't even know what the hell I really did. Yeah. I just put out fires and took care of the situation at the moment.
So you don't start the day with a plan?
I do, but it goes to audible really quick.
Maybe a weekly plan. I know I got to get A, B, and C done this week.
Yeah. So it's whatever fire comes up, I have to go put out and then get back to what the plan was. So
walk me through a typical transaction. What kind of fires could you expect? Are they always the same?
Oh, no.
Because I have no idea. I've never, I've been around the industry. I've worked with people in podcasting and in media production in the industry, but never really cared to figure out what their lives were like until I met more people that became closer friends.
Right.
What is a day like typically?
Here's one. So I've been working with these clients for probably a year. And they listen to this, so they're probably going to laugh when they hear this, but they become family. I mean, great friends of mine. I've gone hunting with them. They've come out to my property. They found me on Instagram. It's probably been a year and a half. They're higher end clientele looking for something on the larger side. He does business acquisitions. They have a house that they are wanting to go after, but they cannot close on it until this business transaction is completed and the stock sold off and he's paid and can move forward. Yeah. Now, my understanding is a beverage company. And so you're having to go through all this red tape, liquor license and, all the stuff. So we'll get right up to where we think it's about to close. And then, say a government entity will say, hey, well, what about this? Or a lawyer will be like, what about that? So it just keeps getting kicked back and kicked back and kicked back. And, they're in the process of losing their minds because it keeps getting kicked back. And, but it's my job to keep everybody calm. And hey, God's going to put you where he wants you to be. If this house in the one, the next one will be just, you can handle what you can deal with. But there's some things you can't control. Yeah. So,
well, they're kind of at the whim and they're worried about the house being sold from underneath them. What they want to be cash buyers, I presume?
No, not necessarily. But they want it all ran through a trust that's connected to that company.
Gotcha. Why not just finance it and then just,
But again, I mean, you deal with appraisal issues, you deal with, last second lender issues, you deal with, inspection issues. I can't even tell you the many, and everything that happens seems like an emergency at the moment. Mm-hmm. So you have to kind of be the one in charge, calm everybody down, ultimately go to what's the solution to this problem.
Does your garage door sound like this? If it does, it's screaming for help. Call Incredible Doors, 931-348-DOOR. We're making garage doors in Murray and Williamson counties work better and sound better. We just make them incredible again. Go to IncredibleDoors.com or call 931-348-DOOR. Follow us on Facebook for specials on maintenance visits, keypads, and other items. 931-348-DOOR. IncredibleDoors.com. What do you think is like the time frame for a realtor to kind of have it down? They'll never, as long as they kind of keep their mind open. When you're ripe, you rot. When you're green, you grow. They're still green, but keeping their eyes open for stuff like that. When do they feel like, what's a good time frame where they're onto something and they know what they're doing?
Yeah, again, I don't want to put anybody in a box because there's some people. I've been doing it 22 years. And I'm still learning stuff.
Sure, but there was a point in time where you were really green.
Well, there's people like Matt Bogosian.
Yeah.
Who's a good friend of mine, who he's pretty new, 10 years, give or take.
So you'd figure that's new.
But he did really well right out of the gate.
Yeah.
He came up with strategies that I didn't have back then. He was getting on YouTube and he was putting his face out there and he was, getting well known in the community. It took me a while to do that.
Yeah.
He hit the ground running and did it really well, really quickly.
He did it really well, and I also noticed that it took him a while to build an audience because a lot of the...
Well, sure, but he started using the tools quickly that I didn't use until 15 years into it.
Right. Now, 15 years ago, 2011, we were still kind of, we were scooting around the couch on our process of learning to walk with the internet at that point. And, YouTube was only about 5 years old at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe
I got in 04. Graduated in 04. From MTSU, got my license shortly after that. I remember taking video of a home with those little pocket flip. You remember the little, I forget what they were called.
Flip cam.
The little flip cam.
Yeah.
And you take it and then kind of download it up and it was all grainy and crappy. And, now they've got tours of homes that you don't even have to be there. Like they'll take up pictures and throw it into AI and do a whole thing.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
And now that's another question, the AI problem, or maybe it's not a problem. Is it a problem for this industry?
I haven't seen it be a problem yet. Now, ultimately, will it replace agents? I don't think so. I think you're always going to need human interacting, and you're going to have human interaction. You're going to have people that are knowledgeable and know what they're doing. I will say it's helping me right now.
Yeah.
I can do analysis of a property in half the time it used to take.
Yeah.
A lot of people just use it for descriptions and stuff like that, but it's relatively accurate. I mean, I double check everything, but it takes a lot of the legwork out of it.
I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, with Matt Bogosian, bringing him up, David Miller's Thrillers.
Yes.
Yeah. He was one of the first people. He was very creative, and I always give him credit for this. He would put his face on bus boards and benches, but he'd turn it upside down.
Yeah.
His whole picture would be upside down. I would say, made you look. And he was like forgive me for saying this, David, like kind of a dorky looking guy, but then you get to know him. He's about as redneck as they come. And good old boy through and through. He's a native of this area as well, but has done very well in the real estate industry. I mean, not really, he was in real estate, and then the Miller's Thrillers thing kind of came up and all of a sudden overtook his life.
Yeah.
Now he got more into the entertainment space, but very interesting marketing techniques that he used. But on your Facebook, on your Instagram, not many of the, kind of get some more lifestyle videos up on there. A lot of podcast clips.
Yeah, that's
like social media laziness.
Cracking the whip on me about all these podcasts.
I want to see more of the lifestyle stuff.
All right.
Show me
back after it. It's turkey season now, and bass fishing's heating up, so there'll be more content to come.
Maybe we need to get some bikes from Muletown and take them out there and see if they, don't scare away the party fowl. I guess the hunting targets.
Sure.
What do you call them?
Turkeys?
Turkeys. Is it only turkey hunting that you do?
No.
Duck?
Turkey, deer. Haven't gotten into duck. I like to do a lot of predator hunting.
Yeah.
Coyotes, bobcats, stuff like that. But that's mainly just because, I'm trying to manage my property down there. I'm trying to get a good population of turkey and big bucks and stuff like that. So you gotta understand, cause and effect. We gotta take out a bunch of coyotes so they don't eat the turkeys. You got to get rid of some raccoons so they don't eat the turkey eggs.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's fascinating when I really started to dig into cause and effect of managing a property. It's fun.
What about somebody that wants to get into property for flipping or maybe investing? Is it a good time?
I would say there's always a good time.
Yeah.
Now I have investors contact me all the time that are like, hey, what do you have this distress that I can get a good deal on? I'm like, sorry, bud. I mean, most people, even if it's distressed, are wanting to put it on the open market and see what they can get, mainly because where I focus on Williamson County, the property values are so high, even something falling apart, the dirt could be worth $500,000.
Right.
So, if you venture out a little bit.
Yeah. What's the next area to pop?
I knew you were going to ask that question, but like everybody always asks, what's the next thing? Columbia, but I think it's kind of
hit its stride.
It's hit its stride.
Yeah. Lewisburg.
Now stay out of Lewisburg.
Shelbyville.
Stay out of Lewisburg.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't want people encroaching on my farm. So, I want it to stay out.
People are going to do it whether you like it or not.
No, it's coming, man. It's growing up all around me. Nice homes next to my place.
Yeah. Well, you got so many, Pulaski's, we had a friend of ours that lived down there in that beautiful area.
Oh, some of the most pretty land around.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time.
Fayetteville's gorgeous.
Everything's moving south.
I think everything from Nashville is going south and everything from Huntsville is going north.
So you're going to meet in the middle. Well, because Huntsville, is it a destination now still, or is it yet to be discovered?
No, it's booming. Last I heard, yeah. So I was born there, but I was raised here.
Yeah.
So we go back and see family and stuff, and it looks very different than it did years ago.
Well, you remember seeing like what it's now as, and everybody sees as Cool Springs. You remember it as being rural, as rural gets.
It was farmland.
I
may have told this story last time I was on here, but so when we moved here in, I guess, 87 or 88, somebody approached Dad and had, 20, 30, 40 acres or something to sell. And they wanted, I'll call it $500,000 an acre, something ridiculous. But he was in his early 30s, had young kids, and salesman, just moved here from Durham, North Carolina, and didn't have the money to do it. So he had to pass up on it. And he said, son, you know what they call that now? I was like, what, Dad? He said, Berry Farms.
Yeah. Now, for those of you not from the area, Berry Farms is one of these very up and coming areas.
Oh, yeah. It's where the In-N-Out burger is.
It's In-N-Out, not only the restaurant, but the HQ.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And they're putting all that stuff there because that was nothing but marshland or just open field. And
you got houses selling for $500-600 a square foot right there.
That's crazy. But it's still kind of rural. It's not developed yet.
Yeah, that's what they say. When's the best time to buy real estate? 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's always the answer. So asking if it's a good time or not, if you can do it, because long term, it's going to be a good buy.
Well, we bought the land, I don't know, 3 years ago, just based on dreaming what it could be. It came with like a mobile home that was on it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably sat there for a good 20 years or more. And, now we did what we did with it, but we learned a lot. We tried to get it rezoned. Then all of a sudden you go through the process of building an actual commercial building. And that was a little rich for our blood.
Yeah.
And we decided to back off on the rezoning and just okay, what could we do with it as it stands?
But you learned a lot in the process.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. But yeah, we've increased it quite a bit. I mean, it was less than $500,000 for 10 acres with a creek.
Yeah.
You know, right across from the Hustle factory there.
I think I got mine. I bought it for my 40th birthday. So that would have been 5 years ago. I paid $7,000 an acre for 60 acres.
Yeah.
And I was kind of upset because a buddy of mine had bought something similar 3 years before that for about $3,500 an acre. Now it's probably north of 10, 15 an acre. So
now, of course, that's just, you know, appraisal, what people think based on comps.
Oh yeah.
The reality is what somebody would sell it for, what somebody would buy it for.
Yeah, and I've got people contact me all the time. What would you take? And like they're going to cremate me and spread me out over here. This is not for sale. This is all I've ever wanted. And
everything's for sale.
Nope.
20 million. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, come on.
If I could duplicate it.
Oh, you could find
That's
something
where my
like that.
son shot his first deer. It's, you know, we fish there.
Yeah.
My kids,
Let's
camp out down there.
Let's go buy a campground on the coast and make some more memories like that.
Okay.
You know?
You bring me a $20 million buyer. If you bring me a buyer, I'll pay you, buddy.
I'll pay you money. I tell you what. What is it you want to do in 5 years, 10 years? Like, what's your dream, you know, when you get to be my age? Is it to be making podcasts for people?
I've always said I want to make enough money that I don't have to worry about making enough money.
Right.
That's it. I don't require nice stuff.
That's the thing is like, you know, what is that number for people? You know,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
My business partner and I kind of talk about that. He says, if you have 3 million, you got enough to make a couple $100,000 a year.
I've always thought 3 is probably the number.
Yeah.
But when we sit down with our financial planner and he tells us, yeah, you need 3 million to live the lifestyle you want to live. I was like, you might have said 100 million because neither one of them is going to happen.
Right. You don't think it'll happen?
Sure. But you know, I got 3 kids. One's about to go to college. One's in competition cheer. So hell, it is what she loves it. She's great at it. So we support it. But
now, you're so like your oldest is your son.
Mm-hmm.
And you've mentioned in the past that you're so trepidatious about him going to college because it means he's going to go away. Where does he want to go?
Don't know yet. We went and looked at Alabama, which we're huge Alabama fans. So went down there, and of course that was fantastic.
You're only a couple hours away from him at that point.
Yeah. He's looking at Western Kentucky, Tennessee Tech, Ole Miss.
What's he want to do?
Probably financing. Go into finances. Kid's brilliant. Carries a 4.4, which I'm not sure he's my kid.
So the financial aid aspect should be taken care of. Probably get a free ride somewhere.
Depends. It obviously depends where he goes. You know, if he goes to somewhere like Western, yeah, it'll be pretty much nothing. So I may have bribed him a little bit that, hey, buddy, you go to Western Kentucky. Maybe dad goes and buys 50 acres up in Bowling Green and
there you go.
Leaves the boat out there. Maybe.
It's just an income tax state. That's the only thing.
They got big deer though.
Do they?
They got big deer.
They got more weather. They got more of the seasons.
It's a different animal up in Kentucky.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in Connecticut, you forget how small that state is. But when you're growing up, you don't think that way. You think it's actually pretty large. It took us from Danbury to Norwalk being on the coast. It was probably about a 45-minute drive. But come to think of it, it was probably because of all the density and traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're right outside the city. And then you go out and you move. Our first big move was to Nevada, a giant state. And, it'd take you half a day to get up to the northern part of the state. It'd probably get even 3/4 of the way there. But here in Tennessee, it's kind of amazing how the size becomes relative after a while.
Well, I read this, and I could be wrong, could be making an ass of myself, but I read this somewhere from, was it Johnson City, Bristol area, kind of up in the north corner to Memphis is farther than from Nashville to the Canadian border.
Really?
I read that somewhere. I don't know how accurate it is, but it's close.
I knew Connecticut was small when somebody overlaid it. They took like some sort of an impression of the state of Connecticut and put it over the city of Houston. And Houston was larger than Connecticut. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, that's a big city, man. That's crazy. So with your kid he wants to go to college.
Oh yeah.
What year is he in now?
Junior year. So he'll be a senior next year.
ACTs, all that stuff done, or is he still doing that?
Yeah. He's still trying to beat his score. He did well.
What do you get?
Trying to, if we can get to that, and I try not to put too much pressure on him. If he can get to a 30, that is a financial game changer.
Yeah.
And
Class
he's
101.
hovering it.
Have you heard of Class 101?
Yeah, you actually told me about it. Yeah.
Look into it, dude.
Okay.
It's like putting the piston sauce in the engine.
Okay.
It really is. They'll find all the right scholarships for him, help him out with choosing the college. I mean, it was definite ROI for what we did.
Okay.
And my daughter was, they do actually do a lot of the ACT prep. Not that this is a commercial for Class 101, but I swear by him. Everybody that's ever done
results.
What's that?
You saw results.
Oh, totally. A lot of people I know have. It's mind blowing. How this it's a small franchise that started up, I don't know, 12 years ago.
Right. And
they've gotten into a space. I mean, talk about a want versus need. I'm always looking for the commodity in business. Like, with everything we do here, it's more of a want rather than a need. Other than the commercial lighting that we do, garage doors can be somewhat of a need, but everything else we do is a want, Right. But in that, it's almost like being in the pet business. The education prep business is massive.
And again, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but it's like, what do these scores really mean? What do these test scores really? How does that truly?
What does a college degree really mean? Nothing.
Yep.
It means nothing.
Well, that's the one thing. And again, Caden's my first to prepare to go off to college. And I keep telling him over and over and over, my wife's in the music industry. I'm in real estate. Both of us were raised here. The biggest privilege he has is that me and his mother are well connected.
Yeah.
And he's a good kid. He can articulate well. He's can interact with adults very well. So I keep saying, don't go too far, because your best bet of getting a good job is going to be in Nashville. And it's
Does he have
because we're connected.
entrepreneurial urgings?
Oh yeah.
Leanings?
Yeah. He's got little side businesses, and he cleans garbage cans. He'll go to actually reach out to my clients. Again, me hooking him up. It's like, hey, here's a list of all my clients. Call them and say $25. I'll come pressure wash your trash cans out.
Oh, really?
Bam, 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 bam.
Is he still doing that?
He's doing that. He just got a job working at Troubadour. He hasn't started yet, but he's going to be working down there, which again, great place to make relationships.
Oh yeah. You can make a life there.
Yeah.
Just work your way up.
Hey, just bring Aldine his beer every time he wants, and who knows? Again, we're connected with Aldine from all the boys that me and you know.
I know.
So
you get there, you go right to the source.
Yeah.
That's where they all hang out. And it's funny because my kid is at In-N-Out in Franklin.
Okay.
And he's finally getting a taste of what it's like to work for a company with a decent culture, healthy culture. They really do put culture at the forefront of what they do. They spent probably 2 months in a hotel conference room training before the restaurant opened. And then they'd send them out to the other restaurants to get some real world interaction and stuff like that. And it's...
there's a reason they're so successful.
Oh my gosh.
Just like Chick-fil-A. It's freaking ran like a well-oiled machine.
It's all culture based, man.
Yep.
But,
But that's any successful business. That's why, me on a small scale, that's why I try to do what I do. It's a culture. When you work with me, you know that I hold myself to a higher standard, and I hold everybody else to that high standard too.
Yeah.
So be trustworthy, do what you say you're going to do, and over deliver.
Yeah.
And successful companies, successful entrepreneurs on down the line, though, that's kind of the common denominator.
But identifying what it is that you want out of life in the next 5 to 10 years, even with your son going off to college, the biggest thing that we found out with our daughter going to college, I said, why are you, there was a little bit of a deviance that happened. Like she kind of got off the beaten path and had a little bit of a life lesson at one point. And I said, Cam, why are you getting up in the morning? I don't know. I said, well, that's everything that it goes against everything I told you kids for years about going to college. So you got to know, first off, make sure it's more than paid for. Don't take out any loans. And number 3, know why you're getting up in the morning. Why are you doing this? If it's to go and have extended adolescence, not a good reason.
Right.
Go work. Go figure it out. Fall on your face. You know, you say your son wants to go into finance and stuff like that. What kind of finance? Is it crypto? Is it, you know, how the world is going to be turning and stuff like that? Is he interested in those things? Or what about finance really kind of?
I don't know. I think he's just great at it. It's natural to him. He's got an entrepreneurial spirit. I think he ultimately wants to be a business owner. Mm-hmm. But like I've told him, you know, I'm a one-man shop.
Yeah.
But I know, you know, I have to do our taxes. I have to put a budget together. I have to do marketing expenses. I have, you know, there's a million things you have to do. So if you ever want to be a business owner, especially someone that's at the, you know, the highest levels, you have to learn all the little intricacies. You don't want to just hire that out. You know, if I hire somebody to do something, it's because I know how to do that. I just don't want to do that.
Right.
So I'm trying to teach all my kids to learn all the little details of, you know, being a business owner, and then, you know, find the right situation and build your way up, and maybe you start your own company. But if you do, you know, the financing, you know, insurance, you know, all the little details that lead to that. So you're not trusting somebody to do something that you don't know how to do, because that's when people get burned.
That is true. Happened to Billy Joel. Happens to a lot of people. Do you have the kind of relationship with your kids that they do come to you, they trust you, they see you?
Yeah. We've got a great relationship.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's something that, you know.
I'll give it to my wife is probably better with the girls than I am. They're very open about real life stuff. Crazy thing is, you know, you got to have the sex and drugs talk when they're little now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I got it till I was 15 or 6, maybe 14,
never got
15.
I found it out on my own.
I think we had the talk when they were 10.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Just everything's
Did they ask
so
questions?
much faster.
Were they a lot more curious about it?
My middle daughter was. That's just her personality.
Yeah.
Caden, I don't even remember. It's been so long. But now he's kind of more of those, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jason Miller. I'm the owner of Christian Brothers Automotive here in Spring Hill, Tennessee. We fix cars here, both European and domestic, from simple oil changes to complete engine rebuilds and replacements. Most important thing, though, is while you're waiting, we've got the best snack game in town, and we invite you to make yourself at home and get to know us, and we treat you like family. We're located right across the street from Walmart on Highway 31 right here in Spring Hill. Let us know that you heard about us on this ad, and we'll give you 10% off your next oil change. So stop on in and see us in downtown Spring Hill. Do we even have a downtown in Spring Hill?
Right now, I think the hardest thing for mine that are a little bit older is you pray that you've taught them about, I really harp on situational awareness with my kids. You know, Caden's driving, Emmy's, you know, running around with her friends. I trust my kids to make good decisions. I'm teaching them to not let other people's bad decisions affect them.
Yeah.
You know, you're out with buddies and one of them's drinking, you get in the car with him. You may not be drinking. I trust you not to get behind the wheel, but you make that one bad decision to get with your friend that could change your life forever. Yeah. So those are the things we're really, really pressing on our kids now, is just situational awareness, being aware, having a plan, and trusting your instinct.
We got to you know, that's what I was kind of talking about before was I'm finding like, okay, the world has shown you what it wants to show you. You've had unfettered access to it for years now, thanks to phones. And also what's portrayed on those phones isn't always true, or is at least a veneered version of things sometimes. They've been exposed to the world one way or the other. And with my youngest, I'm actually saying, look, you got to be discerning about what is it being shown to me? Is it within context, or what's the front and back context of it? Am I reading a headline? I said, because the world will sell you on singular ideas.
Right.
And it'll tell you that, it's all about division right now to a certain extent where the tide, I believe, is turning.
Man, I'll say this. I think this next generation is going to get it more than we did, though.
Because they grew up faster.
But there's so much that's being exposed now, and there's so much being able to see behind the curtain and the gatekeepers that, let's say, our parents didn't have.
Right.
When they sat down and watched the news at night, you trusted, one of 3 sources to tell you what was going on in the world.
Right.
And now, a lot of the information coming out is maybe misleading and wrong, but you're not giving, 1 or 2 authority figures the full trust to tell you what's going on.
No.
So I think more or less their bullshit meter, they can track things a little bit better than we could.
Well, the funny thing is that the truth still eludes them because there's so much information. All you could do is lean on your own self and what your inner voice tells you is or seems to be true.
Right.
And with my youngest, I'm able to we have really fun conversations about biblical lens of looking at the world, that kind of thing. And she has a lot of issues with Christianity because of the people who represent it. Mm-hmm. Her friends, people in school who, just do and say things that are just like, come on, guys, not a good example here.
Yep.
And I say, well, don't let the people, God's so-called people, distract you from your relationship with God.
Yep.
You're not supposed to look to them.
Well, that's what they say, that the major problem the world has with Christians, it's not that they're different, it's that they're not different enough.
Right.
If they're doing the same things everybody else is, how is that supposed to influence my life?
Right.
It was like we had Chris Ayub on my podcast 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Who did the docu-series, the religion business that was talking about, these big corporations and big mega churches, funneling money into things and tax evasion. And, that's a terrible look. You get one big mega church that has this major scandal. People are going to look at Christianity as having that problem. When no, it was the power these people had. They took advantage of it.
Yeah. Well, because they can become businesses without accountability sometimes. And your churches are messy. And when they're run by people, they're going to be messy. If anything, if I were to start a church or be in charge of rebranding a church, I would plaster it on the side of the building that say, we will let you down. We will guarantee it.
Chris brought up something during that podcast that I thought was very interesting. He said, what if these churches, the more successful they get, the pastor has term limits? And we do that in Congress too.
Yeah.
Because the more power someone gets over time, the more corrupt they become.
Yeah.
So if there was term limits, you'd always have, fresh ideas and fresh spiritual beliefs, I guess, but before the machine corrupts them.
It's the business, like he's talking about, the religion business. What is it they're really selling? One of the guys who was here at the Bridge Church in Spring Hill, his name was Josh Howerton. He moved to a church in Texas called Lake Point, and he has since become a very large, influential figure online and thereabouts. Commands a huge, I think he had like 56,000 people for his Easter services. I would say in one location. Maybe I could be wrong. But he is a big personality on X and on Instagram and everything, gets a ton of responses. But he's got what I call the trifecta. He's got the look, he's got the charisma, he's got the charm. He's got a podcast now. All he needs to do is author a book. And he's grown up. When we saw him preach here, he was still in his 20s. Lead pastor.
Yeah.
Telling other people how to, deal with married life and kids. And I'm like, dude, you are in no position to kind of give this kind of, counsel.
I want to listen to old guys that are grizzled and beat up, that life has just kicked their ass. Those are the guys I want to listen to.
But now, he's in his early 40s now. And it's like, okay, you've got a couple more laps around the sun.
Right.
You've got grit and the ability to speak into these aspects of life. Absolutely. Same thing. I would tell this to his face if you were to come here. Not, maybe he will someday. Who knows? But he, in a similar situation, is it him or is it what the church is about? That's for those of you who actually go to a church and apply yourselves into those types of environments. Why are you going? Is it the guy?
Yeah.
Or is it because of the whole concept? Now, of course, on the surface, they're going to say, well, it's because of the whole concept. It's because of Jesus. Yeah. When you go, the whole notion of church shopping makes my skin crawl.
Yep.
Go where you're called.
Yep.
Again,
it can be hard to find your place. We kind of jumped around for a little bit.
Where do you go now?
We are at Church of the City in Nolensville.
Okay.
They just started new church there.
That's
like
another
it.
franchise.
We like it.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of those that you have to be very careful. You have to have your situational or spiritual awareness of what's going on. Not to say big churches are bad by any means.
It's got a bad rap. They're going to be like,
it creates the opportunity for it to become corrupt.
Yeah. But I mean, to change out a pastor kind of goes against the whole business model of a church, because what's attracting the people in, and it's going to be the message, it's how it's delivered. What Josh does say, I listen to his stuff. I love what he says now. But you look at any of his posts, it's all women. Just, how men are simps, whatever the woman version of simp is, that's what it is. I mean, these women are just like drooling, because he's a good looking guy.
Right.
And, and he's spouting, truth and in a way that's very compelling. So, I mean, I don't know. Again,
Josh, I don't know you. You don't me. Be very careful with that, brother.
What's that?
Said be very careful with that, Josh.
Yeah.
Very careful.
I think he's aware of that. I mean, he has to be.
Yeah.
Married. He's been married to the same girl now for probably going on 20 years. Adopted kids. So, I mean, he's got something really good going for himself. I wish nothing but the best for him, but I think ultimately, the term limits thing is an interesting concept. It's just, it's not good business.
Right. Right.
So where do you go from here, man? How do people find and follow you?
Well, man, you do my podcast. You do a great job of it. 615 podcast.
Do you have a website for it yet?
It is not. No. Oh, well, it's tied to my website, nickwoodard.com. So you can see all the episodes on there. But again, this podcast is not about real estate. It is about
your relationships.
I've been here for 40 something years, and I just have people on that have great stories, good friends of mine. Just let them get on and tell you their story. And that's way more fun than sitting and talking about real estate all day. Ugh,
real estate podcasts are good for investors, and that's about it.
Yeah,
other real estate agents, mortgage people.
Yeah. Instagram at Nick Woodard Realtor, YouTube at Nick Woodard Realtor. I have them all tied together. So my podcast is on everything. Clips is on everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
Well, right on. There you go. Thanks for being on again.
Thanks,
I appreciate
brother.
it.
It was fun.
It's always fun.
Absolutely.
All those things will be in the description that he just mentioned. nickwoodard.com pretty much is your central place to get all the things. So check them out there. And if you want a podcast that you can get a feel for some of the people that make up Middle Tennessee. Are you selling these hats yet, or did you set up a store?
I know I'm supposed to.
You should.
You keep telling me.
You might as well.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
They're good hats.
Great hats.
They're great hats.
Lovely.
I wear these a lot. You see me sporting it all the time on this podcast. So if you want a taste of Middle Tennessee and all, like in addition to my podcast, the 615 podcast, Nick does a great job. Probably a better interviewer than I am. I just kind of wing it.
Well, like I told you before, I've only interviewed people I know.
Right.
So it's like it's sitting down like this. Now,
but you come prepared. You got your notebook in front of you.
With people I don't know, it may be just what
I've done that too. I just go by if I see it in my pants, however the conversation goes. These are real conversations.
It's much more fun, man.
Yeah. And of course, you can check out everything for Mostly Middle Tennessee Business Podcast at mmtbp.com. If you want to follow along there or share the episode with somebody, all the things are there, video and audio offerings. If you want to be on the show, there's a way to apply to be on the show, especially if you're a mostly Middle Tennessee business. That would be fantastic. A lot of the times we get people from other parts of the country that don't read the title of the show that want to be on. But, hey, we'll still talk with you. And Nick, once again, buddy, thanks for being on, dude.
Thanks, brother. Glad to be here.